Hey, I'm Trey Rance, and this is my friend
Dr. Carl Gruber.
Dr. Carl Gruber. He's a scientist, and we love him. He's world-renowned. We won't say which field he's in because it's classified, so we don't want to get into that. The government will crack down on us because we're not cleared for top secret.
That's true.
Stuff. Welcome back to Rennie and Doc. Neither one of us want to be here today. We're on the second week of recording on an oddball day.
Life comes at you hard, I'll say that.
It does, Ferris Bueller. So here we are. I worked. This is
You
a day.
worked.
This is an oddball day that I worked and you didn't work. So usually it's the reverse.
That's true.
So
But I had a roofer out and an insurance
Yeah,
adjuster out.
that's true.
And that to me is taxing. Emotionally,
it is taxing.
physically.
It's about 9.5% taxing. So welcome to the show. I was going to mention this. Well, first of all, I'm now noticing right in this moment that these new pants that my sister bought me are too short when I cross my legs.
I do see that.
Now it makes me
They're
mad.
nice pants.
They're nice. They feel nice. They fit very well. But now I got this section here.
I think that you're making a statement there.
I could be.
Now, what that statement is, I don't know.
That's true.
But
I've learned.
You're saying I'm here. I'm confident. I'm
Get
confident.
used to it.
Yeah.
I've learned that they've said that I think the phrase is fashion something, and that is
You can't argue with that.
You can't. You can't. There's no argument for it. So, fashion comes. What is that saying? That you feel bad, you get fashion, like you hurt, but it looks good. Pain, no gain. What? It's kind of the similar. No pain, no gain. What is it like? Feel fashiony. Your wife's gonna be
I've just
really
got the
mad
David
at us
Bowie
now.
song stuck in my head now.
What's the David Bowie now?
Fashion.
I don't
Turn
know
to the
that
left.
All right.
Turn to the right.
Is that during his Ziggy Stardust phase? I don't know.
Negative. That's in the 80s.
So, don't look at my leg, and that's fine. I'm going to tap my foot. I did a... Now, this is popping into my head because I just did it. I did a 40-hour fast
Wow.
from Friday night to Sunday night.
Okay.
Now, even still, I had just a small amount of food on Sunday night. So technically I went longer, but I'm gonna call it. It's I consider a fast not eating.
Yeah.
And fine. Now I had this thought the other day as I was fasting because my parents or my dad made gumbo. It's like a chicken gumbo with boudin sausage.
Sounds amazing.
It's very good. I could eat a gallon of that crap. And it goes with rice.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and everybody can vouch for this, my family. Like, I sat there every hour or something and said, I'd like to have some of that.
I couldn't have done it.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have it.
You're a stronger man than I am.
But that thought that thought brought me to this thought. I thought to myself, the human brain, and I would argue every animal brain is like this, that if you are living in the wild, you take every opportunity
Yes.
to eat as much as you can.
Because you don't know when your next meal is.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're gobbling up, and that may be the reason why everybody's so fat now.
I agree with that 100%.
But anyways, so as I was doing this fast, I thought, I'm literally fighting against my natural urge to eat because I'm hungry now, and I have plenty in here
And it's
in
not
this
just
section.
that it's food. It's
Right.
good food.
Right. Right. It's not just a bunch of almonds or whatever, because almonds suck. I mean, they're fine, but whatever. But it's so weird to go... And I think there's a value in that, much like we've talked about cold plunges and doing things that you don't want to do to earn that grit in life, to cause yourself to go, I will fight against my every being and cause myself discomfort
Yeah.
and do this thing. But that was one of the things that I thought. And
Well, I'm proud of you. I don't think I could have done it.
I don't want your pride, Joe. I spit in the face of your pride. But yeah. No, it was, I don't know. Will you tell me this? Is it, now I'm not saying that you're doing this, but when somebody gives you a compliment for something that you know that you're supposed to do, is that condescending to you? Because I find it condescending. Like if I'm at work and I do a good job I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do at work. Mm-hmm. I do a good job. Somebody comes up to me and says, "Man, I like the way you do that." I go, "I don't trust you. Are you condescending me, or are you actually giving me a compliment?"
I don't know that I run into that much. I know that
no compliments at work.
the days that my boss, who is a store manager, comes to me and says, and he literally pats me on the shoulder and says, "I appreciate you." I'm like, "What's your angle here, buddy?"
Oh.
'Cause,
So you're like me then.
Because he sits in the office all day.
Right.
So when he's out
I hope
there,
he doesn't see this show.
I don't give a shit.
Well, I don't think he will. I don't think he will.
I don't care.
Or he will.
I've sent him some texts recently
he's an
if I
avid
don't get
watcher.
fired,
I was saying Talking the Talk.
Yeah.
He's an avid watcher of Talking the Talk. Rennie and Doc. Anyways, yes.
Talking the Talk
You
with
sent-
Rennie and Doc.
You sent him some.
Some text messages that
I like that last one you sent
Yeah.
me. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know your boss.
I like to word it just professional enough that I can't probably get in trouble, but he knows exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
Because
That
that
is.
ruined my free time. I was off work in my garage.
Now, why did it ruin it, though?
Because he
Did you go in?
Well, I was supposed to be in at 3.
Yeah.
And he texted me
Yeah.
like early.
Right.
And I'm up there and having a good time. I get a text
Yeah.
saying he sent me a group text. He wanted all the managers to, because my cashier had called in.
Right.
He wanted us to work together to text other people to find me a cashier. And I'm like, I'm at home, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not being paid.
Buddy boy.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get off of that.
Right. Well,
That's not my job. That's why he's salaried.
That's true. Well, can I offer this? And I didn't expect to talk about this, but I always said that if I was a manager of a team, and I've never been one, technically.
I have.
So, okay. So I'm just going off of a weird thing that I've thought in my brain. So I always said if I was a manager of a team, and I was in that team, a person said, "I'm sick. I can't come into my shift." I always said that if that happened, I would go find somebody to cover your shift.
Yeah.
I'm not the arbiter of that.
Yeah.
If you can't come in, that's your fault. You find somebody.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I agree with you 100%. Unfortunately, a lot of companies don't run that way.
Oh, I'm sure most don't.
It's the store manager's job at my current job.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was over people, I was over like 14 people.
Why does there have to be a hub of like, why don't you go mingle amongst yourself? If you can't come in, you call somebody. We got all the phone numbers here.
Yeah.
Call somebody.
I think the problem is that we're so short-staffed. There's literally nobody.
Yeah.
We lost a cashier recently. He just started putting.
God rest his soul.
Yeah. She was actually really good.
The bubonic plague came back.
Yeah.
Played?
Just one time.
Yeah. Just it's a very sharp shooter there. That's the new variant of the bubonic
They're like,
plague. It's sharpshooter.
I don't need to prove anything. I've already done that.
Yeah. Right.
Just want people to know I'm still here.
Anyways, let's get off the work. I did want to. There was one thing that's been on my mind off and on for the last couple days,
Okay.
and it's the idea. It's a Jordan Peterson video, and this is where I learned it from him. I don't know if I learned it from him, but he
distilled it down.
correct.
Yeah.
Very very well put.
He's done that with me a lot too.
Right. So it's the idea that you should be a dangerous person.
Yes. Yeah.
But after you become dangerous, you learn to control it and you
Your sword
hold
away.
it back.
Yeah.
Right. So
Keep
I
it.
would like to show the people
Yeah.
this thing, and it's only a minute and something. He's on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I 100% agree with that.
But
It's like a samurai keeping his sword.
I think it's
away.
all.
Yeah.
I think it's all combat related things, even and life, and life. Yes.
Because people have commented on every verse in the Bible, like to a degree that's almost unimaginable. So you can look and see all the interpretations and all the translations and get some sense of what the genuine meaning might be. And the line, "the meek shall inherit the earth," meek is not a good translation, or the word has moved.
I don't know if this is actually true, but
300 years or so
let's
since
just
it
go
was
with it.
translated. What it means is this: those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, will inherit the world. And that's another thing I've been telling. Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot different, man. That's a big difference. It's so great. And so, like, one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be
Yeah.
a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no,
It sounds good
wrong.
to be that
You
way.
should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than
I
a
love that
gardener
one.
in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And so when I tell young men that, they think, well, lots of them are competitive. They're low in agreeableness, you know, because that's part of being competitive temperamentally.
Yeah.
It's like, is there something wrong with being competitive? There's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with cheating. There's something wrong with being a tyrant. There's something wrong with winning unfairly. All of those things are bad. But you don't want people to win? What's the difference between trying to win and striving?
Well, it kind
You
of
wanna-
trails off there, but the main point is that yes,
Yeah,
um,
100%.
it's better to be dangerous and controlling the danger, because I mean, when you think about things like when the intruder comes into the house, you
Yeah.
want to be an absolute monster, as he would
Yeah.
say, to stop that threat.
Yeah.
And then when you're with your family, your wife, your kids, or whatever, you're very gentle, and you
True.
but you have that peace in your guts that you can yank from.
I think that's what spoke to me so heavily about the movie Nobody.
Oh, that's a John Wick-esque movie, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the same universe.
Right. Oh,
Because the movie starts, he's already done all these things,
Yeah.
and he's just a family man. Nobody knows that he did all these things.
Right.
They put him down. This just beats, the life is just beaten down
Yeah.
on him. And then finally, these guys are attacking this chick on the bus, and he just like,
I need to rewind.
he's like, all right. And he gets
well,
to do the thing. He gets to be a man.
I did watch that movie one time. Did he want to do it, or he did it like he goes, I have to do it. I must do it.
I think it was a bit of both. I think
Yeah.
he knew he had to, but also he was like, it made him feel alive again.
Oh, okay. See, the thing that popped into my head is there was a movie, Clint Eastwood movie called The Unforgiven in
Yeah.
the 90s, which it's a little bit, well, I don't know. Was he a bad guy? Like he didn't do good things. Like John Wick did bad things. He was
He was a good
hitman.
guy and Nobody.
Okay. So
Good guy.
when I talk about The Unforgiven movie, he was a bad guy that
Yeah.
did a lot of awful things, but he changed his life. So it's not quite the same thing, but it's in the same vein. Like you want to be able to tap into a thing there's another thing. Oh, I wish I could remember. There's another thing he was talking about. You have to have, the quote is going to be absolutely wrong, but people can look it up. He said something like, you have to be able, like, to be this kind of monster to keep the psychopaths at bay.
Yeah.
Generally, non-psychopathic males who are fairly aggressive keep the psychopaths under control. And so part of the reason that women like men who have some capacity for aggression, but who are still productive and reciprocal, is that men who are productive and reciprocal, who have some capacity for aggression, can keep the real monsters at bay.
And you have to be that kind of man. And then and after you do that, you come back and then you live a peaceful life.
Yeah.
But you have to have that thing in your gut because, like he said, if you're just
People will walk all over
docile,
you.
yeah, you're nobody. Like, why is it a good thing if you are so weak that you can't do anything? There's no good in that.
Yeah.
Because you're just being you. But if you have this ability to really rage out, not against anybody weak.
No.
You're not doing that, but to rage against a
Well,
threat.
I mean, just me talking to you about my boss. I that's something I personally work on. Is
Yeah.
It's a continuing effort.
Yeah.
I have learned how to healthily let that out just a little bit, like a little pushback of like, hey, no, buddy.
Right. Well, no, I've said many times, and I don't know what people think about this, but when I'm sarcastic, and you know this, when I'm being sarcastic, or if I'm being like really laying it on sarcasm, like that's like a vent.
Yeah.
Or even when we do the shorts, like if I'm
Yeah.
pissing and moaning about this thing, about whatever piece
You're
of
letting
my
a little
life,
steam out.
I'm letting the steam off, just a little bit of that release.
Yeah.
And I think that helps you kind of be even. Like
Yeah.
you're not going home and doing bad things. So I think that's an interesting. So you're not gonna take a hammer to your boss because you let it.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you would, but you could because you're a monster. Anyways, let's get on to some lighter notes. This could be a very short show. Because, like I said, we don't want to be here. I really don't want to be here because,
You work today.
yeah. And I've actually, back to the fast, I've really only had like
Now-
10 olives since yesterday. So,
you fast while you're working.
Yes.
That sounds miserable.
Here's the thing. Yes, but caveat. When you have something to do,
Yeah.
it takes your mind off of these
I
things.
could see that.
So you don't get hungry as much as you think you do. Now, when you really get hungry, you know it.
Yeah.
And I could vouch for this as being a closeted fat guy.
Yeah.
I have fat guy tendencies. Like if I could do whatever I wanted, I've said multiple times. I've said on the shorts, I was like,
Yeah.
I just eat pizza and donuts. I'll become 600
Yeah.
pounds and then blow up. So it's not because I'm so regimented and whatever. But when I fast, there's about 2 or 3 times in the day where it's like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You go, oh boy, I'd kill a man for like a beef jerky or something like
Yeah.
that. And then it goes away and then you feel fine. And it's a very weird thing.
I've never done it.
I recommend it to anybody because it really does show you what actual hunger feels like and how fleeting it is.
Yeah.
Because what it really is that now me, I have a little bit more fat than you, but the less fat you have, the more hunger you get, but that's fine. The thing about it is that those hunger signals really come from your body knowing the timing when you actually eat. So if you every day you eat at 6 o'clock, you eat a donut. Well, at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get really hungry for a donut.
I actually believe that because
It's like a muscle memory.
I woke up at like 4:30 the other day. I usually get up about 6:30, 7ish. And because I was already up, I had my breakfast early.
Yeah.
And then when it became breakfast time, I had already eaten.
Yeah. Get
My
hungry again.
stomach was like, hey,
Right.
there's nothing in here.
Yeah, the time. It's
And I
time,
was like-
baby.
And I kept fighting it, going, I already ate.
Yeah.
I finally did. I ate a little bit more. But yeah, I agree with you. That's probably just my body going, it's breakfast time.
Right.
Sure, we consumed something, but it is now breakfast time.
So it's funny that in reality, time doesn't exist. And yet our bodies are on this time restraint where we go, this time of the day, hey,
Yeah.
man, where's my donut? Hey, where's my granola bar?
True.
But it is, it really is those times of the day where it just pops in there and you go, oh, crap. And I'm not going to say that it's not like tough in those times because it really is. It can be trying, especially if you've never done it before. But once you have done it a few times and you kind of get in the groove, you realize you go, oh, it's like your body. Maybe I could even liken it to this, which I don't mean to be foul or crude, but like if you have to go to the bathroom really bad, that feeling of I have to go right now,
Immediacy.
right?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that in a hunger way, but then if you wait 5 minutes, it literally just goes away, and then you go baseline, and you go, "Oh, I'm not hungry at all." That's weird. It's so weird. It's almost. Again, I don't mean to be crude, but it's almost like, and women don't know this, but it's almost like the male sex drive. It's like, it goes like this. And you go, I don't think about anything else. But then after that, you go, oh, you want to play video games? So it just goes away. It's a very weird thing. Humans are, maybe even animals. Maybe it's not just humans. I digress. Off the subject. Let's get some videos, John.
Okay.
For God's sake. We're running out of videos. I sent a few today,
I
but
haven't
I think
seen any in a while.
we got a few, but we got a backlog of you too. We got plenty of videos. All right, what is this? Future Trey, play the first video. That helps me. All right, what is this? It looks like poo poo. We don't need the music. That's not
we've
so
all,
good.
We've all been there.
That's you know, my autism says that's very inconsistent.
Yes.
And that bothers me. I think maybe that's why that's why it's in it. Oh, I don't think that's going to hold as well as the first
No, I
one's
don't
gonna.
think so.
We might have to come back on a second go around and shoot some concrete. You know, one of the things that I don't like about it's not a big deal, but these videos do play these. It's the same 5 songs.
Yeah.
And then it kind of helps to sync them up, but at the same time, what do you need that song for?
True.
All right, let me find the thing. Back to the bar. All right. It's always hard to find. All right, here's Batman. What is this? Put some music on this.
That this was so newsworthy that the front page of the Wall Street Journal, of all places, had an article about what was wrong with us for choosing Michael Keaton to be Batman. You can't buy
Big
that
controversy at the time.
It was.
I could see that. He was a comedian.
I remember my dad even commenting on it. He didn't even like comics.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the silliest choice. This is ridiculous. That's not where the character
And
lies.
yet he was the best of them.
Major financial
One could argue that.
or an institution talking about a creative enterprise. So the good news is they're talking about the creative enterprise. The bad news is they're creating questions in the part of the management. Oh my God, what are these folks doing who are managing our asset, our money, us? So you always have that yin and the yang. You know, you
All
have the
right.
noise, but you also
Why
have
did I
the
send
light.
this whole thing?
kind of a shock.
I think the whole point was that the choice of Michael Keaton. You know,
Yeah.
you know this, but I'll tell the people. The only thing I knew him from. Now, this is going back in retrospect because I was in '89. I was 3 years old. So you were
yeah.
4. I was born in '86. You're a year older than me, so I could only.
I would have been 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have the Hot Wheel from
Oh.
the 89.
Is it in the package?
No.
Ah, boy. You played
It's
the hell out of
worthless.
that.
Yeah, I did.
So, but going back and looking at his filmography at the time, Michael Keaton's a fun actor. But before that, it was like he played Mr. Mom, which is a fine movie. It's not the best movie. There's another movie that I really like called Johnny Dangerously. I'll put it up here. People should watch that. It's a very funny comedy. You should watch it too.
I don't think I've seen
I
that.
think my friend Mike has my DVD. I don't know if I ever get that back, but I could probably download that. Very funny comedy about it's a throw up of send up. It's a send up of gangster movies from like the 70s or whatever.
Okay.
Very funny movie. But anyways, yeah, Michael Keaton was a very odd choice for Batman. I think he got Beetlejuice because of that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see that new movie too.
I am too. It looks like they have actual stop motion in it, which
Oh.
I'm excited about.
I didn't realize that. All right, here's the next one. Do a couple more.
I mean, what is she going to do?
Well, you can't stop it. Can't stop science either.
No.
You can't stop buses. You can't stop science.
That's right.
Two things you can't stop.
Well, she's on a track.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, what are
Sorry.
you? But how calm she is, though,
Yeah.
is the fun thing. Like, I'm so used to this.
It happens
It
so
happens.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another one. All right.
I mean, you can't turn.
Nope. And you can't stop fast, I'm sure.
Yeah, depending on how many.
There
Oh,
it is.
boy. How could you be so stupid to not realize that there's a big giant thing next to you?
Well, you're supposed to check. You're supposed to check your mirrors.
It's not even like a compact car is next to
Yeah.
you. It's like this thing that towers above your car. You can't notice that. It's what do they call that? Oh crap. What is they call that? Joe? Hey Joe, what do they call that? Being aware of your surroundings, but there's
Situational awareness.
Situational awareness.
Yeah.
Always be aware of your surroundings. How hard? You know, I'll give this to you as a gift, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
Your wife, God rest her soul. No, she's alive. No, I don't know if she came up with this. I don't think she did, but let's just say she did.
Okay.
And I'll give her the props for this. She came up with this thing. She commented on a video. I can't remember what the video was called. It was one of ours. She quoted "Rism with the tism."
Yes.
I love that.
I
loved it.
She says that to me all the time.
Okay. When did she start that?
After I finally had taken the
Oh.
quiz online and discovered that, yes, she was right.
I think that is so funny to me. It's just so funny to me. I actually had the thought today. Take a second from these videos. Now, I don't mean to offend anybody
Oh, boy.
that has autism, but I actually consider I thought this on the way home, on the drive home. I consider myself, and maybe you as well, and maybe I'm completely off base, but I think I'm the Blade. The Blade, the Marvel Comics character, the Blade of autism, because Blade,
I get where you're going with this. Okay.
he is a vampire, but he's half vampire. He gets the negative. He doesn't get any of the negative side of the vampire. He gets the positive side of the vampire. He gets
Yeah.
the positive side of humans. Like, I feel like I have the positives and none of the negatives of
Yeah.
the autism.
Yeah.
Like, you get only the superpower of noticing everything.
Yep.
And realizing and going up, 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 up. And
That's actually a really good analogy because I was thinking kind of the same thing. I saw a kid at my work, one of those ones that they have to have the hearing protection on,
Yeah.
and stuff, and they got their little pad,
Right.
And I was like, Jesus, I'm so glad I'm not that
Right.
deep into that pond.
And we both have the ability to blend in with humanity.
That's
like
right, they don't even
we're,
know where
we're
they are.
day walkers. we blend in. Nobody can know because we're so good at acting. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I got personality. Hey,
The
when
only
I need it,
downfall
I
is-
turn it on. I turn it way up.
When my wife can tell when I have to run the register, though, because when I have to
Oh,
be
you run
acting
dry.
the whole day, I run out. I'm done. I got no fuel left.
Yeah, I get that. It's so funny. I literally thought that. I think it's true. I'm sure there's. I know there's downsides. It's obviously it's hyperbole, but there's downsides to it because, as women have told me over the course of months, that I come off through text because there's no facial, there's no mannerisms, there's no vocal thing. I come off very like matter of fact, like, but yes, I think this. Yes, I think this. Oh, I know this. Yes,
Yeah.
I think this is correct. So that could be a downside.
It is. My wife, we have a very great relationship, but she does just yesterday. She said, "No, was that today? It doesn't matter." She said there was been a gray plastic tote sitting in our living room for weeks.
Yeah.
I should have remembered that had my clothes in it, but I forgot. I just
It's not labeled?
No, and I thought it was Janice's clothes.
Right.
So I just left them there for weeks.
You just take the lid off.
And she said something like, "Are you going to go through your clothes in that?" And I said, "It's mine." And she said, "Yeah." And I went, "Okay." And I went through it. And I put the tote in the garage.
Yeah.
And something about how I handled that situation. She came out to the garage and said, "Are you mad at me?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, what I remind you about those clothes, you just said, okay, I'll take care of it, or whatever I said. And
Oh.
I was like, I'm me. I'm very direct.
Right.
You said, those are your clothes. And
Right.
I go, I had forgotten that. Let me take care of that.
Right.
And I was just being extremely direct, but apparently
Right.
it seemed like I was pissed off.
Now that you say that, I think that maybe my dad has a little bit of that, because when I tell him a thing, I give him a piece of information, he'll go 10-4, and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, so, but I go, yeah, he got it. All right, now I know. So there's no emotional exchange with that piece. But
My dad does that too.
Oh.
I texted him that I got my garage door fixed, and he said, cool.
So maybe that I don't know where the line is between what is regular men and women or regular women to autistic men, or men and autistic women. I don't know what the chasm or gap of those two things are. I'm sure there's, like Kamala Harris says, there's Venn diagrams that she really loves. So there's got to be a Venn diagram of regular
Yeah.
men and women, regular men and women talking, autistic men talking to regular women, and regular women talking, or autistic women talking to regular men. There's got to be an overlap there, because obviously there's a weird interaction between men and women that they had that book, the men are from this planet and women are from Venus, or whatever the thing is. I'll put it another thing. So there's obviously a big difference, but I think that the difference gets bigger with this.
Men are from Mars,
autism.
because Mars
Is it
was
Mars?
the planet of war in the Romans.
What is Venus? Love?
I don't remember.
Romance.
I tried to make myself look cool right then, and then you took the rug and you pulled it out from my feet.
Joe, rugs are
dare you.
overrated. We're standing on a rug right now. It's just a fashionable feng shui type thing. Let's not even do any more.
Okay.
I think it's a good place to land on. But I did have that thought.
No, it's a good thought.
It is. I don't know. I think autism, like you've said before, it's better to know,
Yes.
because knowing is half the battle, as G.I. Joe
That's right.
said. And I'll put it here.
Face up to what you've done. Don't take the easy way out.
We'll tell her we did it.
Remember, it's better to tell the truth.
And that's no lie. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle,
it really is.
and
It's helped me with even though my wife and I have been married for 13 years, it's helped me in the moment to go, hey.
catch yourself.
I go, this
Right.
is just me being direct. There's no
Yeah.
subtext.
Right.
And I'll catch myself when I do something that I think she's going to think
Right.
there's some anger behind or something.
Yeah.
And I can go, this is just me being your husband. I'm just being direct. There's no subtext.
Yeah.
This is all I'm saying.
Well, her being a woman, she won't believe you at all.
Well,
She's going to read into a lot and she's going to think about it for the rest. I have a lift.
you're so Sylvester Stallone.
She's
I
gonna-
can't remember his
she-
name. Cat. Damn it.
She's going to think about it for the rest of the night. Nevertheless, you can't control what the women think, and
No.
that's fine. We're different. We're literally equal, just different. We complement each other. I've said that many times before. Nevertheless,
Women are better.
I don't agree with you. I think we're all the same. Debate. All right. So thank you for watching this episode of Rennie and Doc. We hope
Suffering.
That's all,
succotash.
folks. Yeah. We'll see you on the next episode of Rennie and Doc.